Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, whatever time it is in the world, wherever you are tuning in from. Do let me know in the live chat where you're tuning in from. I'm going to share the score with you on the screen in just a moment. Let me know what you think of the starting lineups as well. I must say, Mazraoui at right back caught me by surprise. Do make sure you hit the like button and, of course, hit the notification bell, and then you will be aware of every time we go live. I'm not sure we'll do many of these during the season, but if I can't do one on the opening day, when can you do it? That control there from Bruno was a little bit disappointing. Can someone tell me as well, is the blue kit the away kit or is it the white kit? Because we're wearing the white kit today, I see. Is the blue kit the third choice? Franco Fowl is the only Manchester United manager in history to have a better points per game ratio in their first 20 games than Michael Carrick. How about that? Oh, Heaven, wrong side. Has he made up for it? Oh, I tell you what, Luke Shaw, not exactly filling us with confidence in that left-sided defence going forward if you're going to get skinned by the Hull winger. Yeah, so Mazraoui at right back. Good defending, actually, at the centre of our defence. So we've got Cunha in the number 9. The biggest thing for me at the end of last season was the performances. The results, you just can't deny that the results were under Carrick were incredible. It was Premier League winning form, but the performances is what concerned me. And they still do. I'll run it out of play. Okay, so 0-0 after 6 minutes. We had that moment with Bruno in on goal, but he sort of chested it basically back into the path of some Hull defenders. We've just had a scary moment in defence as well as Tielemans, of course, making his debut. Andre Santos as well. Let me know in the live chat your preferred midfield duo in that role in front of the defence. Teaming down with rain outside here in Germany. It's been pretty wet as well in England today. More autumnal than late summer weather. Also, let me know what your preferred lineup is at the back. Like, for me, everyone's fit and firing. It's Martinez and De Ligt. Yeah. Hey, Snehil. Good to have you on board. Let me know your thoughts on the first 8 minutes. Fairly nondescript. I mean, it's Maguire giving it to Heaven. Uh-oh. Okay, I think we might have got away with one there. Santos got away with one in particular. Bit of carelessness from the Brazilian in possession. Maguire's claiming a foul, but I thought it was actually a foul for Hull. That's nice from Mbumo. That's not so nice, though, from Cunha. Jake! Deary me, Jake, your WhatsApp response just stunned me. Stunned me. I'm telling you, by the way, I think we got away with one there. Andre Santos in particular got away with one because he's the one who's hurried out of possession. I want to know two things. I want to know your preferred centre-half pairing when everyone's fit. And I want to know... No, me neither, Snehel. Me neither, but... Especially Hull away. I mean, I get it that Carrick's hands have been tied by the injury to Ahmad in training this week. For those of you just joining, probably the controversial or points of note regarding the starting lineup is that Dallo is on the bench. And, oh, that's lovely from Mbuma. No, it's not. And Mazraoui is sitting in that position. And Ahmad is at left wing with Mbuma on the right and Cunha up top. Rashford is on the bench. Ahmad is not in the squad at all due to an injury he picked up in training. Yeah, and then the pivot. Good point. Yeah, Snehil. Then who's your preferred pivot? It looks like Snehil and I are in 100% agreement in terms of the centre-back lineup and then the two midfielders. Yeah, I agree, Jake. I had concerns about Heaven at first, and I remember seeing him look very nervous against West Ham in December, which I'm going to say was his first Premier League start last year. And also against Bournemouth, I thought, yeah, he could have done better. I think it was for the opening goal for Semenyo in that game. But since then, 2026 has been a very good year for him, I would suggest. Or very promising, let's say. Bloody hell, Hull here passing it around like it's Barcelona 2010. Oh, Yoro. Don't get me started on Yoro. Okay. So the time for me as we speak is 11 minutes and 55 seconds. So it's now dead on 12. I think the Mino FC brigade have been pretty quiet. I think the problem is that some of the Mino FC are also Ineos FC, and therefore they put Ineos before all else. Oh, that's a dangerous ball. That's a dangerous ball. Good save. I mean, the defending was shocking from Hull, which doesn't bode well going forward for them. That's nice. That's not nice, though. Is that Cunha miscontrolled that or Tielemans? I think it might have been Tielemans. I mean, it's a dangerous ball, but my goodness me. I mean, that's the dog and duck at the back there. By the way, this is my preferred midfield duo. Not necessarily the one that Carrick will go for. Everyone please hit the like button. And there's probably a couple of you watching right now who haven't subscribed. We need to get to 1,000 subscribers as soon as possible. And at the moment, we're heading in that direction about as quickly as Brian McClare. For those of you not sure who Brian McClare is, he wasn't the paciest of players. He was the first one who came to my head, like who's a bit of a snail. Who would be the sort of slow... I mean, most of our players are pretty pacey. I guess Luke Shaw nowadays is not really the quickest. He's nice turn and shot there from Cunha, but I mean, the keeper's always going to save that. No, Dallow's not playing, Jake. So I thought the blue kit was our first away kit. Deary me, we are so open. It's a good save from Lamans. But he's obviously got to make that. But the defending, I mean, there's your man Heaven, who we've just been praising. Shouldn't be playing right back. Is worse than Dallow, which speaks a lot. Yeah, well, I mean, that's not exactly a controversial take, Snail. I can only assume that Dallow's World Cup exploits, I know Mazraoui would have been playing for Morocco as well. There must be some sort of physical element where Mazraoui is ahead of Dallow, because I can't believe that going forward, Dallow won't be the first choice right back. Wow, Jake prefers Mazraoui. I mean, Mazraoui? Really? In possession, going forward, crossing? Not for me. Not for me, Jeff. Oh, you've got to do better there. Dorgu. Are you Ballon Dorgu or are you Ballon Dog shit? Let me know in the live chat. Oh my goodness me, Mbuma, what are you doing? Oh my goodness me. Just horrendous. I mean, I talked about Hull being the dog and duck. This is just, what is that? What is that? Oh, I mean, Laman's dealt with it. Mazraoui was shocking there. I mean, that's just shocking. That is shocking. 1-0 Hull. I mean, this is horrendous. What is Ballon Dorgu? I mean, Santos and Tielemans look like they've won a competition to play for Man United for the day. Hull have been the far better team. I mean, listen, let's chill for a moment. Let's chill. 20 minutes in, 1-0 down, time to wake up. Let's say that. Ah! Chelsea couldn't believe their luck when we were off on 50 million. Yeah, Heaven not been great today, has he, so far? Right, time to relax. Let's get the ball down. Let's pass. Let's keep the ball. Let's show some attacking verve. All of which has been largely absent for the first 20 minutes. Decent control there from Mbumo. Actually, Mbumo's been one of our few bright sparks, I would suggest. Thunder is occurring outside my window. Well, it's also occurring, should be occurring in the halls of Old Trafford right now. He's got to... Tell you what, it is a foul, but a little bit easy to push off the ball, I would suggest. But it is a foul by Slater. Oh, Ballon dog shit. Okay. I mean, I think I would be shocked if Hull survived this season. If that tells you anything about the first 23 minutes. Got to get a hold of it, people. Got to get a hold of it. Where's this midfield overhaul I've been told about? That I've been sold by the PR gurus at The Athletic. Let me know your thoughts in the live chat on the opening 24 minutes to Manchester United's title-winning campaign. Kambumo on the left, on the right. Now it's Tielemans. No, you too easily brushed off the ball there, mate. Just too soft. Horrible control from Santos. Horrible. Got away with it, though. We're still on the attack. Dog shit. Okay, Hull now attacking again. A ball goes into the box, but Lamans collects it comfortably. Yeah, he's going to come on alongside Mateusz Fernandes. Tchouameni, I mean, why we aren't starting with Tchouameni? I guess, you know, obviously big money signing from Madrid, needs to adapt to Man United. You can understand, though, why we didn't go for Tonali. I mean, once you've spent, obviously, big on Elliot Anderson, Tchouameni, and Mateusz Fernandes, you can understand why they sort of let Tonali go. Yeah, Jake, exactly, yeah. PR, Athletic. Right, 27 minutes in. That's nice from Mbeumo. I will say this, Mbeumo is a rare spark in an otherwise dour display. Okay, Maguire in possession. Bruno picking it up on the edge of the box. Maguire with the cross. It's not bad, you know. Dorgu, you've got to do better there. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's nice. Not so good there from Mbumo. Caught sleeping there with some good slick play from Maguire and Fernandez, but Mbumo was caught sleeping. Here comes Mazraoui. Oh, that's... Tielemans on his backside. Not a good look. Throw into United. Deep in our own half. Yep, nondescript. 30 minutes in. Oh, Dorgu's just been nutmegged, which sums up his first half. Yeah, agree, Jake, agree. But that's coaching, that's coaching. Yeah, indeed. I'm doing the unforgivable sin, which on a YouTube channel is to be quiet, but there's nothing to tell you about, nothing to say. Lamans and Mbumo, probably the only two players that can hold their heads up and say they've done okay in this first half. Even Mbumo in the last 10 minutes has been off it a bit. Defending has been shocking across all four positions. And impotent in attack. And just look at the desire. Hull showing the... Oh, Dorgu getting a yellow card. That's decent from Mbumo. That's decent, yeah. Okay, Tielemans, what are you going to do? Lay it off to Shaw on the left. Decent ball in. Mbumo with a spectacular effort. Okay, corner here, 35 minutes in. Mbumo with it, is it? Yeah. Under the goalpost, and the goalkeeper collects easily. I guess if there's any consolation is that the last 15 minutes, Hull haven't quite, haven't quite looked as threatening as they did in the opening 20 minutes. I mean, that's a decision for the coaching team, right? It's another 2-0. 2-0. Terrible. Marking shocking. Where's Ineos FC right now? Where's the Athletic saying what a great transfer window we've had, how stable the club are, giving 9s out of 10 for our transfer windows before they've even been completed and even played a minute of competitive football? I just don't get that. Other than the fact you're in Ineos's back pocket. I know exactly. Oh my goodness me, heathen. I know exactly what's going on. I can tell you, it's exactly the same. You see it with other journalists, with governments, the way they get fed stories, and they dress it up as sources, sources, sources. Listen, if you can't say who your source is, and you're telling us that the mood at the club is good, and we've won the transfer window, you're not a journalist, you're PR. Stop it right now. End of. Yeah, sadly they do. Sadly they do. And they're so-called fans as well. They've betrayed the club, they've betrayed themselves as supporters, and they betray other supporters too. It's shocking. And the thing is, I'm not surprised by this. I'm not surprised at all. Now, we still might go and win 3-2, but it won't change a single thing. This is nice, football around the edge of the area, but that's not good. Okay, 2-0, throw in. Goalkeeper collects easily. Yeah. There are more people that support Ineos than Manchester United these days. And some of them call themselves lifelong fans, and some of them call themselves journalists. Don't give me any of this mood as being good at the club. The club's moving in the right direction. The club do a lot of right things. Because for the club, replace club with Ineos, or the Glazers for that matter. That's nice from Bruno, but well defended in the end. Dorgu. So poor. So poor. I get it, maybe you're playing away to Real Madrid in the Bernabeu, and maybe Dorgu needs to be the sort of more defensive-minded left winger. Not against Hull. Not against Hull. I guess Rashford's got to come on at half-time. Sesko warming up as well. Yeah, maybe Sesko as well works if he's fit. Okay, here's Mazraoui showing his usual prowess in the opposition half. In other words, not. Hopeless ball into the box. Goalkeeper collects. Bruno. Blocked. Half time. Yep. I think United are lucky to have nil in that first half. Shall we have a quick look, see what's going on in the Twitter sphere, what kind of meltdown or otherwise is happening there? Probably all sorts of salt pinching is going on amongst the Ineos crowd. Does anyone know what our set piece coach situation is? the Man United Twitter account. Time to regroup and go again. Right, what else is going down? So here's your first Ineos PR. Man United had fashioned a couple of decent. There you go. A little bit of there's your sort of, yeah. There's your you could call it Glazonomics Ineos PR. United have been playing well, but then there's some direct play. That's a sort of a backhanded compliment, isn't it? Poor defence at Slater's corner. Lamon's unfortunate after a top save. Again, let's promote the fact that we did well with the Lamon's deal at 20 million quid. Hull creating far more danger with their crosses than United, indeed. Simon Stone, one of the better journalists out there, to be fair. Yeah. Totally. Deservedly better team, says Simon. So, the quality is coming from Hull, not Manchester United. The desire is coming from Hull, not Manchester United. The cohesion is coming from Hull, not Manchester United. People might say it's only 45 minutes into the season. Yeah? Okay. Show me something. Show me something from the last 8 months. So what have we had? We had an unbelievable performance at home to Manchester City. If I go through, actually, Manchester United results and performances since that let's go back. Here we go. I've got it now. Starting with that little purple patch that we just highlighted. So here we go. Unbelievable performance against Man City. Deserved winners. Ultimately beating them and could have been more than 2-0. Fantastic start to what was going to be now the Carrick reign. The Arsenal result, fantastic. Performance, we got away with it a bit. As in, we were being dominated for the first half an hour. An unbelievably careless bit of defending by Arsenal lets us back in it. 2 worldies. We get a fantastic result, don't get me wrong. Now, the performance at home to Fulham left a lot to be desired. We got away with one there. Spurs, 11v11. This is basically a relegation threat in Spurs. They got a man sent off, changed the game. West Ham, nondescript performance, fantastic late equaliser, we move on. Everton, smash and grab, fine. Palace, ditto the Spurs performance, not great. Got a bit lucky with their red card. Got a couple of refereeing decisions that went in our favour. Not a great performance. Now we've jumped to the friendlies for some reason. And now we're here. But anyway, now then you just move on. I think the Bournemouth away performance, oh yeah, the Newcastle performance, oh my goodness. Shocking. And they were down to 10 men, weren't they? These performances are going to catch up with you. They're going to catch up with you. So a lot of people that were on sort of going, oh my goodness me, Carrick's done an unbelievable job. They didn't watch Man United inside out. They didn't watch the games. They will have just seen 3-2 away at Arsenal. The win at home to Liverpool, the wins against Palace and Everton and Spurs and Fulham. And they're just going, oh my goodness me, Carrick's doing unbelievable. But they don't watch these matches. And that's fair. A friend of mine's an Aston Villa fan. I was talking to him the other day. And he said, oh, but Carrick did it. Yeah, but the performances were crap. And they're going to catch up with you. And he said, in fairness, he's like, yeah, that's true. I saw the Villa game and I saw the results. But, of course, when you're supporting other teams, you don't see it. What would you make at half-time? What substitutes would you make? Would you bring on Sesko and Would you bring on Sesko and Rashford? Just Rashford? Man United twice came from behind to win under Michael Carrick last season, away to Arsenal and at home to Palace, but not from a 2-goal deficit. Big half-time here. United blunt in attack and brittle at the back. Pretty bad combination. Michael Carrick has a job in his hands here, says Simon Stone. Well, I think we knew that already, Simon. See, this is the thing. And I love the boys at Stretford Paddock, but they've been brought in by some of their contacts at the Athletic, who they also get on well with, who maybe one or two of them did a lot of stuff for either the Stretford Paddock or they've got good, it's all about relations and PR and massaging. The truth is, Chelsea were happy to let Andre Santos go for 50 million. The truth is, the performances for the last 6 months have been crap. The truth is, Michael Carrick was a fantastic midfielder for Manchester United, but is an unproven coach. And the little evidence we have from Michael Carrick so far is that he had some good results as an interim coach at Man United in 2 separate stints, but a rather underwhelming set of circumstances and results when he was manager of Middlesbrough. That's just a fact. Those facts have been ignored because of the PR machine and the relationship between certain established people in the media and Ineos. And Ineos have been working on this and working on this. They've hired people to improve the media relations. We'll give them a few little exclusives here and there. We'll give them a few drips and stuff like that. You give us good PR. We'll give you an interview and you can come on MUTV and interview Omar Barada. You'll still give us good PR, but you'll do it in a sort of a masqueraded way, as in what you'll do is you'll say, listen, the club get a lot wrong, but, and then you go on about how good the transfers have been. The club get this wrong, but. This is a classic line when you're basically working for a regime. You're working for, and you point to the criticisms, yeah? You say, well, I do highlight the things you get wrong, yeah, but you're selling it in a manner of overall positivity. You highlight 1 or 2 issues that could be improved. You also say it in a particular way, and then you go in on all the good stuff. And by the way, when you unpick the supposed good stuff, right? Honing in on the transfers, for example. Let's look at Man United's transfers in the last couple of years, okay? And these are all the Ineos transfers. I heard Stretford Paddock talking about this earlier, and I was like, you're kidding yourself. You're kidding yourself. Let's go back. I'm on the Transfer Market website. So, Andre Santos, Yuri Tillemans, Carl Darlow, and we're hoping and guessing that Carlos Baleba. Well, of course, jury's out on all of those purchases. Just a fact. That's how it is. If we then go back and look at other purchases from the Ineos era, you then look at Sesko, Mbumo, Cunha. Jury's out. The jury is out. You cannot definitively say that all 3 of these have been great signings. You cannot say that after, listen, you certainly can't say after 45 minutes. I get that, which is why, of course, the jury's out regarding the summer signings. But even now, you can't categorically tell me, unlike some of those so-called journalists, that Sesko and Mbumo have been unqualified successes. You just can't say that. You have to wait. Cunha, I think, had a good first season. I'd give it a 7. I'd give Mbumo and Sesko a 6. Let's see how it goes going forward. This is not me consigning them to the dustbin either. Senna Lamans for 20 million, unqualified success. Fine. Let's go back, though. Let's go back. Dorgu. 5 out of 10 so far. So how many of these are 7s out of 10 or more? We can't talk about any of the summer signings from this year. We've got Sesko and Mbumo 6. We've got Cunha 7. Let's go Lamans 9, especially when you factor in the price. Dorgu 5, right? You can't say he's been fantastic. Doesn't mean I'm giving up on him yet. Far from it. Let's see how the second season goes. Although he came in, didn't he, midway through the year before. So he's had 18 months. Who else? Lenny Yoro. Oh my goodness me, please, no. Let's go back to their first. Oh my goodness me, yeah. Then you look at Ugarte. Also, think about who we're selling to get these players. McTominay out, Ugarte and Yoro in. You cannot dress it up like I saw the guys on Stretford Paddock doing pre-match. You can't dress that up. I'm sorry, guys. De Ligt, 6 for now. This is all Ineos purchases, by the way. De Ligt, 6 for now, but when he's fit, of course, more. But we can't give him much more than that because he just hasn't played enough. But pursue it, of course. Who else came in the summer in that summer? Oh, to be fair, Heaven, which still a work in progress for sure, but obviously for a million quid or whatever it was, you can't criticize that too much. Ins and outs. This is on the Man United website from summer of 24. Mazraoui, can you give that a 5? I'd give it a 5. Xerxes 4. Yoro 3. Ugarte 3. De Ligt 6. And then who did we sell? We also sold. Who was the left back? Was it Fernandez? Who was the one who ends up playing? Yeah, oh, sorry, no, it's Carreras. Oh my goodness me, how we could do with him right now. Right. There we go. Okay, the players are coming out for the second half. There's Rashford coming on. I think that's the right decision. Something has to change in the attack. I saw Sesko kind of warming up, although actually he's just sort of watching the play from the touchline. Yeah, Dorgu's off. That makes sense. Also, Dorgu had a yellow card. I think I saw that conversation take place between Carrick and his coaching staff, Steve Holland among them, as he said, I saw when Dorgu got that yellow card, I think the decision was made to bring on Rashford at half-time. He might go up top with Cunha on the left. As in, because I can see he's come on for Dorgu, and you'd think that'd be a direct replacement to play left of the attacking trio, but... Okay, second half, here we go. Just got to win this half 3-0. Easy, right? Hull have never beaten us in a top flight match. How about that? Of course, Rashford got the winner here, didn't he? It was probably the third match I'll say under Mourinho. I think it kept up a 100% record. It might have been second. It was early doors in the Mourinho era. It might have even been the fourth, but one of those early doors matches. And I remember we were on a good start to that season, 17-18. Began it with a 3-0 win at Bournemouth, I think. That was the first season under Mourinho. Oh, yeah. What is that from... I think it was Tielemans, wasn't it? Tielemans is now in the right-back position, if I've got this right. Deary me. That's a foul. Probably should be a yellow. Mendy picking up Cunha here. I mean, it should be a yellow. That it's lucky. They're lucky there to get away with that. Cunha brushed off the ball there pretty easily, but we've got a throw in a fairly attacking position. Let's get the score back up for you guys. Team news is that Rashford has come on for Dorgu to begin this second half. That's nice. And Bummo. Offside. Jason Wilcox and Omar Barada look like a couple of rabbits in headlights there. Oh, and Bumo. Had a really good first half an hour, but he's dropped off since then. A few times when he's been careless in possession or lacking the quality, maybe even. Okay, so Rashford is a bit of team news in terms of tactics and formation. Rashford is starting on the left, so a direct replacement for... I almost think this is... Oh, Rashford here could do an unbelievable amount of good for his reputation amongst the fans. If he can get involved amongst a rousing second half display, let's say we do get it back to 2-2, or even better. I mean, heaven in no race to get back. I understand it to some extent, bearing in mind we're 2-0 down, even if it is only 50 minutes on the clock, but... Have we got a corner here? I think we have. I think he's onside. Yeah. Yeah, we've got a corner. Well done, Maguire. Yeah, Rashford's on for Dorgu. Straight swap as well. Rashford's on the left side of the attack for now, with Cunha still remaining up top. Good defending there from Hull. If only United could have defended the same in that first half. I mean, it is a bit of a risk, but maybe it's one worth taking, keeping Maguire and Heaven up front at times, even if it is just 50 minutes on the clock. Just situations when there's a few phases of attack still likely. Heaven there with a header. Would have had to take sort of something Pele-esque to have scored from there, though. And with all due respect to Aiden Heaven, he ain't Pele. I think this first 50 minutes has been damaging in many ways, but I think it's damaging for Michael Carrick, no doubt about that, and damaging, I would say, also for Aiden Heaven. It's not been, for all that optimism that we saw in the second half of 2026, for both Carrick and Aiden Heaven. You know, Santos and Tielemans, oh, hello. No. Santos and Tielemans will get a pass for a few weeks for sure. And rightly so, right? I can only assess their performance thus far, and it's been crap, and I won't deny that, and I won't hide behind that. But, you know, I'm not judging their Man United careers on the first 50 minutes. Good job as well from their perspective. Here's Tielemans in possession. Very. He gets brushed off the ball pretty easily, doesn't he, Tielemans? Not the strongest. That's a hopeful ball that goes nowhere. And the whole goalkeeper happy to see that go out of play. I think there's already a bit of time wasting there. Unbelievable how Bruno got that assist record last season, right? But he didn't assist a goal until the Liverpool match, late September. Dare I say we need to get Bruno on the ball more and Tielemans and Santos off it. Who's that hobbling? Is it Slater? That's going out, is it? No, Mbeumo's got it. Go on, drive at him. Drive at him. Drive at him. No. Just crap. Just crap. That was so poor. I was praising Mbeumo for the first half an hour. Kind of optimistically so, I guess. But he's been terrible in the latter stage of the first half and early stage of the second. I mean, right wing is his position, right? Oh my goodness, Mbeumo, that's terrible. Yeah, sure. Okay, Maguire's at right wing, which is going to possibly be trouble. It's possibly going to be trouble. Oh my goodness me, Tielemans giving it away. Got away with it though. We're back in possession with Rashford on the left. That's nice. Luke Shaw, nice. Corner. Boomer with a hopeful ball that comes to nothing. Too many 50-50s. Too many 50-50s are going the way of Hull at the moment. Right, Mazraoui on the right. Mazraoui on the right, cuts in on his left. Does nothing with a cross. This is nice from Maguire. That's nice. Ah. Should have had a shot there, Rashford, really. Someone's got to have a shot at some point. Okay. 2-0. Hour gone. Yeah, of course, Matthew is an Arsenal fan. Just slightly off that ball from Tielemans. I like the idea. The execution was just too heavy. Slightly. It's good. It's good from Tielemans, to be fair. And maybe Rashford a couple of years ago might have got his foot on that. Yay. Right. I mean, those expectations have changed somewhat in the last hour, which you could argue is reactionary. But I was not, let's say this, and this is, it's all on record. I was nowhere near as optimistic as large parts of the large swathes of the Man United support, who unfortunately spend far too much time taking in the Ineos PR machine. I was on record as saying our transfer window is a 3 out of 10. And bearing in mind we finished third last season, but with no other extra matches, if you're then suggesting, which I am with that transfer window, suggesting that we are weaker this season than last, yeah. You can't tell me that Baleba was top of our shopping list, because if he was, why weren't we going for him before he picked up the ankle ligament injury in June? Why weren't we getting Hall from Newcastle before they sold basically everyone on the furniture from St James's Park? I have zero faith in our transfer policy. I have, and people, the PR machine will tell you otherwise, but they're not accurately evaluating the players that are brought in. I'm just going to tell you the players that Ineos have brought in, okay? And also one or two that they've sold. Think back to the summer of 2024. This is Ineos' first transfer window, okay? Ugarte, Yoro, Heaven, okay? Heaven comes in at $1 million, so it's a free hit if you like. But Ugarte and Yoro, incredible expense. Delict as well, of course, that summer. Did Mazraoui come in that summer as well? I think he did. And sold McTominay, right? I think if you're giving that a transfer window rating, you'd probably give it a 3.5. Summer of 2025. And also, oh, hello, Shaw, hello, no. So I've seen, I'll come back to some of the transfers in a moment. I've seen interviews with Ratcliffe that he gave to MUTV just after he assumed partial or large control of the club, at least in terms of football operations. And I was horrified by what I heard in terms of his lack of awareness of the sport. Now, if you then invest that money and get people in that understand the sport and stay completely away, okay. But if you're getting involved, and we know he does get involved in transfers, oh my goodness me. You're letting just a super rich guy play with it as his toy thing, thinking he knows better. There's Mazraoui with a half chance at the back post. And Wilcox too. I saw this interview with him like about 10, 11 months ago. Okay, Mainu and Sescu coming on. I'm guessing Santos. Yeah, Santos comes off. Tielemans as well. Yeah, dearie me. Debuts to forget. I guess if you want to clutch at straws, the Vidic and Evra debuts against Man City. Yeah. The time I have is 67 minutes and 4 seconds. So yeah, summer transfer business of 25. Oh, by the way, don't forget Xerxes as well in 24. We're not seeing Xerxes come on to rescue the game today, and there's a good reason for that. Here we go, a hull attack down the left. Mazraoui caught for dead. Shaw chests it down. Ponderous from Fernandez, but we're back in possession. Right. Oh, and Bumo. Sum of 25. Umbumo, Cunha, Lamans, and Sesko all come in amid great fanfare. That is the one that's being heralded as the best transfer window of all time. And I think... Okay, there's a Hull player down injured. I think the jury's out. You've just got to... You've got to ignore all the guff coming from the PR people. And go, you know what? We don't know. I always point to Martial as being a fantastic example of someone who obviously had that phenomenal debut coming on as a sub against Liverpool and had a really, really good first season. But you don't evaluate Martial after 6 months. You evaluate him after 6 years, right? And so we don't know how we will reflect on the summer window of 25. We can reflect on summer 2024 a bit more easily because a lot of those players will be leaving the club in the next 6 to 12 months and maybe even in the next week or two. I think Ugarte would have gone this summer had he not picked up that injury. That injury, by the way, did affect our transfer business, no doubt about it. There you go. You wish you'd sold it. I wish we'd sold him before the World Cup. Wish we'd sold him before the World Cup. And then the summer transfer business this summer. Don't know. So please, next time you hear somebody going on about how good the transfer business has been under Ineos and how they're getting things right, please, 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 just take a step back from the PR nonsense and think about it. When you hear that, just remember Lenny Yoro, Joshua Xerxes, Mazraoui, De Ligt, Dorgu, and the sale of McTominay. Just please remember that. That is about 60%. I've just highlighted 60% of the transfer business under Ineos, which just unmitigating disasters. Now, the other 40% is what happened last summer and this summer. And the jury's out. So what we've got is we've got 60% disaster class, 40% question mark. That's it. Now, that doesn't mean that Sesko is going to go on and maybe, you know, come up with the goods today and maybe get 20 goals for us this season and end up being a huge megastar for us. Maybe. But also think about these other footballing decisions. Who was the guy they got from... they got him out, Dan Ashworth, at great expense and effort, and then realised that he was crap as a technical director. Who was it who decided to extend Ten Hag's contract after we won the FA Cup and then give him a couple of £100 million to spend on some players from the Dutch league who didn't work out? And then fire him at great expense in the September. Who was it who didn't do due diligence on the background to Amorim and his insistence on playing three at the back? The answer is very simple. So please, next time you hear that nonsense, take it with a pinch of salt. Well, more than a pinch of salt. Just basically go, please stop lying to me. Ashworth, yeah, indeed. Right, 71 minutes, and I've barely spoken about the game in the last 10 minutes because nothing has happened from what has been a fairly impotent performance. Uh-oh. Oof. That was close. It's a 3-0. Okay, and Bumo here. 73 minutes on the clock. Bruno sprays out wide to Rashford. The deliveries from Bruno today have been not great. Okay, Hull on the attack. I think they're just claiming handball, but I think the proximity was just impossible. Even that's if it even touched his hand, I don't know. Anyway, United on the attack. Referee's not interested. Relegation form from United. And Bulmer cuts inside. Left foot shot, always going over. For as long as Ineos are in charge, we are not going to come close to winning the biggest trophies. It's just a fact. Yeah, this is very reminiscent of the Sunderland performance, the performance from United at Sunderland. The only difference is that Sunderland were sort of maybe a little bit toothless in attack compared to Hull. That day, anyway. I mean, Sunderland were already sort of settled in mid-table, nothing to fight for in terms of Europe nor relegation. That's poor from Mazraoui. Poor, poor, poor. I wonder who bought him. I wonder who sanctioned that transfer. Okay, Maguire in attack, but plenty of men from behind the ball. Shaw on the left. Hits the first man. Offside. Okay, and Mbeumo threw on goal. Mbeumo threw on goal. And Mbeumo threw on goal. Sorry, Brian. Sorry, Brian. You've got to be doing better than that. There's a good save from the keeper. It's a good play from Cunha, to be fair. And it's not easy, but these are the standards. This is what we're talking about. Standards, right? Yeah, it was a good ball from Cunha. Now Mbumo taking the corner. Well, I guess if we score, everything's fine, right? Good defending there from Hull. Yeah, he does, Jake. He does, yeah. %70 possession for United in this match. Okay, Maguire on the left wing. Shaw's got it now. Turns back. Gets tackled. Thrown for United. I did fear about the Casemiro loss of goals in terms of the number of goals he got last season. Okay, Dallo is coming on. Shea Lacey as well. Dallo coming on for Mazraoui. Shouldn't have started Mazraoui. Should have been Dallo. Unless there's some... Oh, Shea Lacey's coming on for Cunha. I probably would have bought him on from Boomer personally, but... I mean, this tells you a lot about where we're at with Xerxes. Yeah, I can't stand him. Can't stand Jim Ratcliffe. Just a total horrible individual. I remember Carl Anka calling him out for being just that 2.5 years ago, I think on 5 Live. Now he works with Athletic and he can't do that anymore. People talk about Mark Goldbridge and the damage that they think he does to the club. They don't scrutinise the Athletic anywhere near as much. Oh my goodness me. Oh my goodness me. Okay, Maguire's back to mop up. Now Mbumo gives it out to Shea Lacey. It's a decent ball out wide from Shea into the path of Luke Shaw. Rashford with the ball in. Sesko. Ay, 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 Sesko. Got to do better there, my friend. Even if you're a little bit rusty, it's got to make contact with that. Okay, we've got to corner out this anyway. And Mbumo now. Ball in. Well defended by Hull. Keeper comes and collects quite easily from a Bruno cross. It's all far too predictable. Good fight there from Lacey to close the man down. Shaw just brushed off the ball. Fairly, in my opinion. Rashford beats his man nicely. Well done, Rashford. Mainly with a shot blocked. Okay, Maguire picking up a lot of possession in attacking areas. Maguire in this second half has a pop at goal. Couldn't be any worse than his teammates in that respect. "85 minutes on the clock." Okay, Rashford in possession, lays it off. Maguire. Okay, someone's got to have a pop at goal there. Okay, decent ball in. Sesko nowhere to be seen. Good tackle at right back there from Holt. "88 minutes now." Soporific second half performance as well. please give me the keys to the Old Trafford decision making, because I'm going to make much better decisions than anyone at the helm at Man United over the last 13 years. It's criminal, and I'll do it for a meager salary as well. Just make sure you give me tickets. Goalkeeper collects. 89 minutes on the clock. Sesko. That's sort of the Sesko from the first 3 or 4 months last season. And I know he's coming back from injury, so please don't think I'm putting the death knell on his United career, but his second half performance has been poor since carrying on. Okay, Shaw's got it over on the left, lays out to Rashford. Feels like it's 2019 all over again. Lacey picks it up on the right. It's a good ball across. Dallo got it. Lays it back to Bruno. It's nice from Bruno. Sesko a little bit flat-footed there. I mean, we began this half with me dreamily suggesting maybe Rashford can make an impact and get us to 3-2 and everything's great, but yeah, don't really look like scoring, do we? Let's go again, not making connection there. Lamon's got it. 93.5 minutes on the clock. Luke Shaw controls this. Gets tackled comfortably. Is Statman Dave on the Ineos payroll as well? Because I see every single stat that he pumps out for United. You'd think we'd won the Champions League 3 times in a row. Maguire chests it down and then puts the ball over the bar. And that is probably it, at least in terms of getting a result today, because we're not going to get 2 goals in 60 seconds. So as we approach the 96-minute mark, the full-time whistle is about to go. I'm going to give an assessment, of course, on what has unfolded today very shortly. There we go. Lofted ball, caught comfortably by the goalkeeper. Tells you everything about our impotence going forward, or impotency. Goalkeeper lost it down the field, and that is the full-time whistle. 2-0. Deservedly so for Hull. The better team from start to finish. They defended better, they attacked better, better on the ball, and they wanted it more. A damning indictment on the way that the direction of this football club. A damning indictment. And please don't tell me that hasn't been coming. It has been coming. If you didn't think that's been coming, you've been buying the PR nonsense that's being spouted off by certain sections of the media that call themselves supporters of this once great club. I'm telling you now, we will never, ever, ever get close to winning the big titles, the Premier Leagues, the Champions Leagues, whilst the decision makers at the club are still there. Transfer disaster after transfer disaster after transfer disaster. Please stop buying the nonsense from the Ineos PR machine. Some of those people that call themselves supporters and journalists. You need to turn off, or at least listen to what they're saying and scrutinize it. Scrutinize the summer transfer window of 2024. Scrutinize the purchases made under the new regime. Scrutinize and evaluate whether you think Xerxes, who didn't even come off the bench today when we were desperate for something going forward, who you think Ugarte, Mazraoui, evaluate those purchases when we talk about how much you think the direction of the club is going forward. Evaluate the sale of McTominay. Next time you hear somebody say that the purchases and the decision makers are making the right decisions, think about Dorgu. Think about it. Evaluate him not on a worldie he scores against Arsenal and one against Newcastle. Evaluate him on 18 months, almost 2 years. Realise that the jury is still very much out on Cunha, Umbumo and Sesko before we start saying how good a transfer window we had last summer. Evaluate the fact that we didn't buy Baleba at the beginning of the transfer window when he was fit and didn't have ankle ligaments. Evaluate the decision to hold on to Ugarte and not try and sell him before the World Cup when he gets a debilitating injury. Evaluate these decisions. Do not listen to the PR machine. Evaluate and scrutinise and think about it. Evaluate the performances over the last 8 months. Think about it. Count the number of good performances and you'll get basically fewer than 5 good performances since the turn of the year. Think about it. Think about what people were saying when Amorim gave that press conference and people were saying, well, you can't say that about your bosses and get away with it. Evaluate what's going on and think to yourself, oh, that's a dictatorship. When you can't say things frankly and can't highlight things going wrong, well, then you're in a dictatorship and then you have a problem. When you have somebody saying, oh, listen, by the way, this is going wrong. This shouldn't be happening. This shouldn't be happening. And then instead of going, oh, okay, let's evaluate that fairly, we go, okay, get out the door. You can't criticize the club like that. You're out. Think about it. Evaluate those people making the decisions. Watch that Jim Radcliffe interview with MUTV at the beginning of 2024, shortly after he enters the club. Listen to what he's saying and then think to yourself, oh my goodness me, he is getting involved in some of the transfer decisions. Ignore the guff when it comes to the amount of money he's pumping into the club, supposedly. Ignore it and think to yourself, okay, but are you standing back and letting real football people take these decisions? Or are you getting involved in the transfer business? Are you the person who thinks that the club is in good hands when it comes to Omar Barada and Jason Wilcox? Evaluate and scrutinise the interviews with Jason Wilcox and think, does he really know what he's doing? Evaluate and scrutinise as well and think to yourself, when you hear so-called journalists talk about sources at the club, tell me that the mood is good. Evaluate and scrutinise when people say source is this, source is that, and think to yourself, are they using those sources and transmitting a PR mission for the club, or are they protecting their sources for the good of maybe an individual who needs to be protected? Evaluate and scrutinise. And look at the performances on the pitch. And don't evaluate a transfer window days, weeks, or even months after. And so I'm saying the same for this summer. I don't know how Tielemans and Santos are going to get on. But please beware when you're reading the Statman Dave tweets. I mean, honestly, I like Statman Dave by and large. But when I read his tweets, you'd have thought we'd won 3 Champions Leagues and 3 Premier Leagues in a row. And we'd bought the best players on the continent when it comes to some of the stats. Please trust your eyes and see what you're seeing. Evaluate and scrutinise when it comes to Michael Carrick and his pedigree as a coach. Remember what he did with Middlesbrough. Look at the performances as well. Yes, Man City at home, fantastic. But apart from that, the performances will eventually catch up with you. Evaluate and scrutinise those. For example, today, you can lose football matches. If we're creating chances and you can see the football is there and you can see some evolution and maybe even revolution is going on the pitch. And maybe the fight and the desire was there, but we hit the post. The goalkeeper had an unbelievable performance and Hull got a bit lucky. But evaluate and scrutinise. Evaluate and scrutinise when it comes to the decisions as well, when it comes to the managerial comings and goings and the waiting for Dan Ashworth. Evaluate and scrutinise the desperation we had to bring him into the club, only to realise after he arrived what his footballing ideas were. Evaluate and scrutinise when it comes to the decision to keep Ten Hag and give him a few £100 million to spend. Evaluate and scrutinise the decision to sell Scott McTominay and buy Manuel Ugarte. Evaluate and scrutinise the decision to fire Ten Hag and bring in Amorim, who plays three at the back and is wedded to that. Evaluate and scrutinise. So when everyone's praising Ineos a year or so later for firing Amorim because of his insistence to play three at the back, evaluate and scrutinise. That is all I ask from you as a Manchester United player fan even, going forward. Evaluate and scrutinise. Ignore and try and realise that you've been sold. And it's not too late. I've been saying this for 2 years, shortly after Ineos got the keys to the club. Evaluate and scrutinise. Let's have a quick look at the Twitter sphere, at some of those possibly aforementioned journalists and their reactions. You'll hear, by the way, from some of those that are saying, listen, there's going to be bad times. There's going to be rough moments. They've been laying this ground for you. I saw it laid just a few days ago. There's going to be times when we don't win matches. There's going to be rough performances, rough spells. They're laying the ground. They're doing the PR work in case of results and performances like today. Alan, I love you. I really do. He's a really good guy, Alan. Former player, of course. But this has been coming. The performances over the last 6 months, the pre-season, the transfers. Chelsea were delighted to get 50 million quid and sell Andre Santos. They were fine with that. Baleba, if he was top of our shopping list, why weren't we buying him in June and betting him in and then he doesn't get his ankle ligaments injury? He wasn't. Anderson, Chumaini. Think about the non-transfer of Emerson as well. Evaluate and scrutinise. Yes, indeed. Okay, let's have a quick look at this from Phil De Bruyne. We're going to hear the same rhetorical BS about how we know it wasn't good enough today and we need to put it right versus Ipswich. But the truth is United surrendered in the first 10 minutes. They made a conscious choice to not match Hull's intensity, their desire and their work rate. Number of players accepted defeat. It was undeniable. United players have been doing this for years, but they get away with it. And they'll get away with it again. First game of the season and half the team can't look the fans in the eye. True, Phil. But I've also seen you telling me how great Ineos have been doing in some of their decisions that they've been making and other people at the club as well. Yeah, this is fairer from Daniel Castle here. Don't think anyone who watched the Milan game, friendly or otherwise, could be too surprised at how today is a struggle. It was pretty clear that Tielemans, Bruno and Cunha were miles off. By the way, I also think Cunha was harshly treated and he won't be amused that he was the one who was hooked when there were other candidates. And I'm looking at you and Bumo. Disappointing but not surprising. We have a lot of attacking talent and creative players that only one of these guys has had a pre-season. We're going to look better in a few weeks. Well, we'll see about that, Daniel. I have less faith than you do, that is for sure. Sesko was way off it in that second half when he came on. Shockingly poor performance by United. Slow, lacking in movement, inventiveness, loose passing, erratic set-piece defending. Hull so much more urgent. United played with speed, the speed of a pre-season friendly, says Laurie Whitwell from The Athletic. I'm going to give a quick analysis as well of the players from today. As you can imagine, most will get a damning indictment in terms of the United players. And by the way, hats off to Hull, second in the league. We're second bottom. Fingers crossed we don't end up in the bottom three. But I'm telling you, we will never, ever, ever, you can clip this, we will never, ever, ever get close to winning the big titles with the decision makers in charge at the moment. That's just a fact. And they have shown me nothing, despite what the PR people who call themselves journalists will suggest. They've shown me nothing to suggest that they will get this right. Ignore the guff. Evaluate and scrutinise. Senna Lamans, I think, did fine today. I'd give him a 6.5. Heaven and Maguire, Heaven in particular, was very poor. I'm going to give him a 4 out of 10. These are the starters. Mazraoui, 3, was poor in defence and even worse going forward. Maguire, I'm going to give a 6, even though he was possibly at fault for one of the goals.
just because of actually him showing a bit of heart and maybe a few possibilities going forward. Shaw gets a 5, carried on where he left off against Milan. Tielemans and Santos both get a 4. Maybe even Santos is lucky to get a 4 in terms of the lack of bite that he offered. Bruno gets a 5, was a poor showing by his standards. He's one of those guilty of just lofting balls high and hopeful. Mbeumo gets a 5, had a good first half, but was terrible from probably minute 30 onwards when we needed him most. Had a good chance to get a goal back in the second half, couldn't take it. Dorgu gets a 3, and that's being very fortunate, was terrible going forward. You need someone, not for Hull away, that is that defensive minded in such an attacking position. Cunha, I'm going to give a 6, was unlucky to get hooked when players such as Mbeumo were lucky to stay on the pitch. The substitute performances, Rashford was bright. I'm going to give him a 6.5. Sesko a 5. Shea Lacey a 6. Dallo a 5. Kobe Mainoo a 5. And that's nothing against Kobe or Dallo. They didn't really have enough time or possession really to suggest otherwise. Rashford was bright. Maybe even 6.5 I could give him. Sesko was really bad, but he gets a little bit of a, an asterisk beside that performance because of the fact that he's obviously coming back from injury. And honestly, Licha, Martinez, you cannot get back in the team. Anyone who thinks we should be selling Martinez this summer window needs to have a reality check and think about what they are doing. Evaluate and scrutinize. That is all I ask for you to do. And when you do that, you realize that the decision makers at Manchester United have to go. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. And fingers crossed I can spread more positivity come the next stream.